Welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Dr. Joseph Reid. A little bit about him: finance expert, entrepreneur, and speaker. Dr. Joseph Reid is teaching visionaries of all facets how to achieve sustainable success with the release of his new book, How to Win. As a motivational self-improvement guide, readers will develop familiarity and effective concepts and skills to achieve success as they are introduced with Dr. Reid's 3 phases to sustainable success. The components outlined in his book will give readers a great knowledge of self and serve as a template for achievement in all areas of life. An interactive workbook is also available to help the reader further apply the concepts discussed in the book. For as long as I can remember, it was clear to me that money was an obvious barrier to success, and that if I wanted to become successful, I would have to do it myself, states Dr. Reid. It was this thought that fueled his desire to become educated in finance, as well as create a game plan for future success. A common obstacle that prevents many from achieving sustainable success is fear. In order to circumvent the obstacle of fear, you must first make a commitment to yourself and your goals. By rooting yourself in your commitment to accomplishing your goals by any means necessary, you remove the option to abandon or quit on your path to success, he adds. Dr. Joseph Reid is an alumni of both Winston-Salem State University and Wake Forest University, having received both undergraduate and master's degrees in accounting, followed by his certified public accounting CPA designation in 2012 and PhD in accounting in 2013 from the University of Memphis. He is currently a professor at East Carolina University, accepting speaking engagements around the country and developing a 12-week online course that delves deeper into the concepts of this new release, How to Win, a Guide to Sustainable Success. Welcome to the table, the amazing Dr. Joseph Reid.
Thank you so very much. You said VIP. You made me feel so special.
You are special. You are special, and our audience is going to get some great nuggets from you tonight, Dr. Joseph Reid.
I definitely hope so. We are here to inspire, empower, and motivate everyone to their greatest success.
Yeah, so please tell us, I know you're still doing the 9-to-5 and entrepreneurship, so please tell us more about your entrepreneur journey.
Well, looking back, I believe I'm a natural entrepreneur. I don't think, I guess that's a nice way of saying I don't like people telling me what to do. But, yeah, I started very early. I didn't go to college right after high school. I started commercial and residential redevelopment, real estate redevelopment firm. And so we would have a portfolio of homes and properties. Some we would go in and refurbish and turn over, and others we would go in and hold. And so I was 19 or 20 years old, and you can imagine having resources but with no discipline. It's not going to last too long. So I was successful, but I really didn't have the fundamentals, didn't have the infrastructure in place necessary for me to continue to be successful. So that's how I ended up in school. That's how I ended up going to the Winston-Salem State University and study accounting and learning the ins and outs, the language of business, understanding how strategy is involved in business development, and how each discipline is intertwined in a successful business. How you brand and market your products, your actual audience, and your gauging your actual return on investment. Those things I learned in undergrad and in my master's program, and really figuring out education is the key to And education entrepreneurship is the key to sort of redefining life and positioning yourself as you want. And so it just led me to teach. You know, I don't ever think I would lose that entrepreneurial bug, but it's my goal to help everyone find their best self, hopefully being able to learn through my mistakes and my experiences, you know?
Awesome. I'm loving your journey. So let's talk more about your vision. Dr. Joseph, you are teaching visionaries of all facets how to achieve sustainable success. So please tell us more about your passion.
My passion is to teach, absolutely. I can remember distinct situations in my life that sort of helped me to develop into the person that I am. You know, in my master's program, I expressed an interest to pursue a PhD. And you know, you got to be careful who you disclose certain things to. You know, they could kill your dream or inspire your dream in that very moment. And so in my master's program, I expressed my interest to pursue a PhD because I wanted to help people see the benefit of education, the benefit of infrastructure and understanding. Like, you can merge these two worlds. You know, business is just the personification of the theories that we study in academia. You know, it's just the articulation of what we think would happen. And so you're able to merge those two worlds and become actually efficient in your processes, you know. And so my passion is helping people to find their best self using my experiences. And so I developed a personal development program. I wrote a book called How to Win. You know, it diagrams success into 3 phases. You know, first phase is the prospecting phase. You know, you're analyzing a situation. Now, everything that I talk about now presumes that you have identified what your objective is. You know, you can articulate what it is that you desire. You know, and so you're prospecting towards you're looking at the situation and analyzing it. You know, there's factors to that. You know, you have to be self-aware and faithful and committed, but you also have to be transparent and learn to utilize leverage in a way that is different from the second phase. You know, when after you've prospected and you've minimized the risk and maximized the probability and possibility of success, you begin to plan. You know, and the factors that are in the prospecting phase are different from the factors that are in the planning phase, but they're the same. You know, just sort of like men and women. You know, men and women are very much the same, but we're very much different. And so these phases are intertwined into each other. You know, the last phase being the execution phase. So I liken these 3 phases to, you know, me being 18 years old and desiring certain things and pursuing certain passions and being, you know, 25 and then being 35. You know, those being at those different stages of maturation, I wanted different things. I needed different things, but the fundamentals were always the same. So that's what birthed this book here. You know, I want people to be able to learn from my experiences as an entrepreneur, as an academician, my time spent in corporate America, so their lives could be better by the benefit of the experiences that I went through. That's the motivation for the course. That's the motivation for the book, and that's the desire for me to continue to perpetuate this message.
I love that. So let's talk more about your 3 phases of success.
Sure.
So you tell our listeners more about your 3 phases of success, and by not telling us all of it, but it's a little bit of it, of your phases, of the 3 phases of success.
So as I was saying about the prospect phase, that's the initial phase. The prospect phase is you're analyzing the initial objective. So for me, my goal was to liquidate my businesses and completely devote myself to Dr. Reid Teaches. I consider this to be purposeful. So when I started this journey about 2 years ago, I was involved in healthcare, I was involved in real estate, and I was involved in logistics in various phases. And so I had to sort of unwind those businesses and tie those things up. And when I first began to develop that plan, when I first began to to analyze what was going on, what I considered to be important in my prospecting phase was different when I started to plan, when I started to identify the pieces on my chessboard. So I consider, business sort of like chess. I consider life sort of like chess. You have to be able to identify those pieces and their relative value to you, what you're willing to sacrifice to your objective. And so when I entered into the planning phase, I had already defined what I was willing to lose and because I already defined what was most important. So I began to plan, okay, well, I'm going to sell my interest in real estate. Now, I had already calculated my inputs, so I knew what I desired my return to be. So, this is sort of how you would walk through your prospecting, planning, and execution phase. This is at 30,000 feet, obviously. And so once I identified what I was willing to accept, my return on investment, I was able to liquidate my interest. Because, again, my passion here is being able to build and develop a platform that helps individuals, empowers them to identify what is most important in their lives and create the steps that are necessary to get them there,
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing your 3 phases. So let's talk about your book. Congratulations on your new book, How to Win a Guide to Sustainable Success. So how can we support you and purchase your book?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for allowing me this platform. But my website, you can access the book from my website, drreidteaches.com. You can also get to me on social media at that same handle, Dr. Reid Teaches, on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
I love that. So definitely go support his book. So Dr. Joseph, you talk about in your bio about fear and how fear holds people back from, success. So let's talk about that. So what are some strategies you would share with listeners about in order to overcome fear?
Well, in order to overcome fear, I think that one of the first things we need to do is identify the priority of your objective. If we truly say that this is the thing that we want, then it should be nothing that could separate us from that thing, not a temporary delay or rerouting of some sort. And so if that be the case, then we should not be concerned about any outcome of any endeavor that we enter in if we have already identified that what we know is going to happen. So I think fear is a function of jumping in a rabbit hole, delving into hypotheticals, making considerations that haven't even actually happened. When the best thing that we can do is put our energy into fortifying our mind and identifying what it is that we desire and focusing on that to our desired end. That would be my advice to everyone. Because what it does is you emit a frequency. Like you'll be able to start to attract like-minded individuals that desire to invest in you at the same rate that you do, and vice versa. There's also a counter benefit to that. You repel individuals. You don't have to say anything or do anything. They're not attracted to the frequency that you emit. So you do not have to deter or worry about things that are contrary to your objective because you're 100% focused. And you have eliminated risk, and therefore fear is gone.
I love that because, it's so important that we don't let fear stop us, right? And that's
Absolutely.
what you have to understand, to take the risk, take the jump, and do not be afraid of rejection. Keep going. Keep going and get started.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. My son is 15. We're close, and we talk about everything. So recently he asked me about this girl he liked and how we should approach it. And, I told him, the worst thing that she can tell you is no. So you cannot be afraid of anything. And I think that inspired him to have the confidence to approach her. Now, I don't know if he was able to to be successful and finding out what her name was. But at least he'll take that lesson on forward. You can't be afraid.
You cannot. Great advice. So, Dr. Joseph, why is your circle and environment important when trying to get to the next level? Because our circle and our environment is very important when trying to get to the next level.
Oh, absolutely. I think we should think of ourselves like seeds. Your seeds are able to grow under certain conditions. Their optimal conditions will produce optimal fruit, so your environment is extremely important. You could be, the most benevolent, and kind, and ambitious person, but if you are surrounded by toxic relationships or engulfed in behavior that is contrary to your objectives, then you are unlikely to succeed, and if you do, it's not sustainable. And so the book really helps people to identify what it is that's important on the front end so you can institute the infrastructure, leverage the things that you're good at, identify those weaknesses so you can minimize exposure to them. That's the purpose of the book, because everyone's fingerprint is unique. So we're here on this realm, we're here in this space to bring something specific. And so if we can help people to identify their unique value, then that makes this world a better place.
Yes, because it's so important, like you said, to surround yourself with the right people and the right energy with people
Absolutely.
that, that you're trying to, you should have people in your circle who are smarter than you, who are where you're trying to get, right? Because if you're the smartest person, you need a new circle.
Oh, absolutely. You should be able to look up and look down. Your responsibility is, NABA, when I was an undergrad, the National Association of Black Accountants, their motto is, lift as you climb. It's your responsibility to pay it forward. So, again, that is the motivation for how to win. I need you to learn from my experiences, my mistakes, the things of other successful individuals, other people that you consider to be powerful or strategic or intelligent. Their success is not accidental. There's fundamentals to the things that they do and who they are and how they approach life. And so I think that it's very important for us to be able to identify them so, we can live our best lives.
Absolutely. So I know you are, an expert in the finance industry, so I want to talk more about the finance side now. So why is creating legacy so important?
Legacy is about choice. Legacy is about choice. We live in a capitalistic economy, and so therefore you have the power to control your decisions to the end that you control your economics. So we have to be in a position to control our economics, can dictate which situations that we desire to enter in. We all want choice. We all want options. We go to college so we can educate ourselves, some of us so we can educate ourselves, and hopefully, at the end of that road, there are recruiters there that are offering us opportunities, and we get to choose based on what is best for us. So, legacy is so important, absolutely.
And when it comes to legacy, it's very important for us for those the listeners that have kids and those that aspire to have kids, to teach our younger generation the importance of financial education at a young age. What are your thoughts on that, Dr. Joseph?
On financial education?
Absolutely.
It's paramount to your success. Again, we live in a place where, you have to pay to enter this world and you have to pay to leave, and everything in between is going to cost you. So it's important for us to start very young, creating circumstances or environments to where our children are able to understand the transactional environment we live in. We trade our time for resources, and those resources hopefully are there to support our lives. So we have to identify first what's most important and educate them on how to optimize their positioning for those resources. So teaching children about entrepreneurship and business and independence, being able to give them an opportunity to choose what it is that they want to do. So I'm a member of the Future Business Leaders of America. I just did an activity. They had a regional tournament here where I live, and we got an opportunity to speak to several students about entrepreneurship. These young men and young women are in the 9th and 10th grade, desiring to open their own businesses and leverage social media as marketing tools for that, and to be in a position to help them to understand, to create business plans, to educate them so they can be independent and elevate their families to a level that they dreamed about is purposeful for me. And so, again, that how to win gives individuals the tools in order to put themselves in the position that they desire.
And I'm so glad that you're doing that. That in the school system they're open to that, right? Teaching our kids entrepreneurship now, because that's so important, because that wasn't always taught, So it's important that we are able to do that and instill that into them at an early age, so they'll know the different opportunities that they have. So that's amazing. So
Absolutely.
I commend you for creating that space.
Thank you. Absolutely.
So I asked all of my guests this question, and I see that you have built your seats at the table, and you built your own tables. But how did you create your seat at the table?
It's interesting. I think someone asked me this question in a different way. They were like, well, how can I make sure that I'm successful? And I think that's really what you're asking. And as simple as it sounds, it's identifying the uniqueness of you and executing upon it. That's really what it is. So in order to identify what your value, because that's what you're asking me, right? Your seat, what do you bring to this earth? Be yourself. You have to remove the chore, like the responsibility of thinking about how you would provide for yourself, what you need, or any of those things. You need to dig down deep into yourself and ask yourself who you are and why you're here. And I can promise you that question will always be answered. Then you take that answer and you take the courage to act upon that. And everything that you need will always be provided for you. So I am certain that the individual will have the capacity to identify, how do I bring my value to this table? Be yourself. I mean, simple as it sounds, just be you.
Be you and build your own table. That's the key.
Absolutely. Build like Tyler Perry. That's what he said, right? He wasn't waiting for a seat. He built his own. And so I think that is, we're saying the same thing. Create your own value. I get the most return on my investment in people. I know who I am. I'm a teacher. I'm an entrepreneur. So I get my most return on investing in people and helping them to be better people. I have not been concerned about money or thought about money since I was 15 years old. And I cannot think of a time where I did not have anything that I desired. And so I don't foresee any time period where I will ever think about money as an obstacle to what it is that I want. And I want people to understand that money is just an idea. It's an idea that is subservient to who you are. You first have to identify who you are and what it is that you want. Develop the courage to pursue it despite impediment, and you will always have what you need.
Amazing. So let's talk about your journey, because a lot of people don't want to go through the process, but you have to go through the process to get to the next level. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
Oh, man. It taught me humility. It taught me about the value of infrastructure. I heard someone say today, there are no shortcuts to success. If you jump a step, life will put you back and make sure you understand the lesson that is necessary. And I could and I can attest to that to some degree. Me setting goals or pursuing objectives and not meeting them, I had to look back and realize, or analyze why I failed. And that taught me so much. It taught me, one, failure is temporary, and so is success. And I choose one each day. And so how do I choose success? I've identified what situations I need to put myself in to be successful. I identified what my goals are, and that's the only thing that I put my energy into. And so it's very important for me to be a present father. And so for me, I'm active in my children's lives. We're doing homework. It's Christmas time. We're baking cookies. We're doing things so I can create those memories for them, so that experience of joy can be perpetuated. I can also instill in them those principles of financial independence, and they can see those principles, and they can hear those principles, and when they get older, they can articulate those. So that's what failure has taught me. It's taught me how to define success, put myself in the position to have sustainable success.
Awesome. So what did success teach you on your journey?
Success taught me that it's relative. There's a diminishing return on the dollar. There comes a point. I grew up on Jubilee sausages and chuck wagons. My mom worked 3 jobs for most of my life. I can't remember. Most of my childhood. And so for me, success was created in that age range. I want this kind of house and this kind of life, and I achieved that very young. So I had to figure out, what actually is success? What is it that I desire that will give me a perpetual internal return? So that's success taught me that success is really an internal perspective. It's really your actual value that you add to this earth. Being able to identify why you're here and add value to other people's lives, so you can leave a legacy.
Mhm. That is so true. Adding value to other people's lives, that is so important. So, Dr. Joseph, what can we expect the rest of 2019? We're in the fourth quarter, a couple of days away from a new decade. So what can we expect from you the rest of 2019?
Oh, man, the rest of 2019, well, we're prepping right now to launch our 12-week personal self-development course. So that's coming January 1, 2020. We're tying those ends up. We're doing a little quarterly year-end stuff. But, all of our events, everything that we're involved in, you can catch us on Dr. Reid Teaches on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter again. Keep a blog on the website. Keeps everyone updated on where we are, the things that we got going on. We want people to be involved. It's important that people understand. I know I'm not for everybody. I'm going to play my music, and I'm hopeful. I find value in it, and I'm grateful that the people that hear it find value in it, because I know it'll change their lives. I'm passionate about the things that I do, and especially this. This is my life's work. So I do appreciate this opportunity tonight to be able to share my experiences and my desires with your audience.
I love that. And it's been a blessing having you on the platform tonight with the nuggets that you have shared. So I want to make sure, Dr. Joseph, that our listeners know how to follow you on all social media platforms and how to connect with you. So will you please tell them how they can do that?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. My website is www.drreidteaches.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at that handle, Dr. Reid Teaches.
So definitely follow Dr. Reid. He is doing some amazing things. He's definitely somebody to connect with and someone to know. Again, Dr. Joseph, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. This has been an amazing interview, and I can't wait to invite you back.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Please do. Anytime you need me to do anything, my pleasure. I'll be glad to assist.
You are welcome, and I look forward to connecting and collaborating with you in the future.
Absolutely. Peace, sister.
You too. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to Kimberly McLemore and my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, and my intern, Vontaria, from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.